We've all heard of college athletes redshirting a season in college to get an edge in sports. But have you heard about parents redshirting their children to give them an edge in academics? A study published in 2006 showed that kids who were held back a year in kindergarten were 12% more likely to attend college. When parents heard about this, it led to a huge increase in this redshirting phenomenon. In fact, the number of kindergartners over 5 years old have tripled, partly due to this study.
Interesting. You know, I was one of those kids, actually. My parents, it wasn't kindergarten, but it was actually first grade. I did it twice, essentially, because I did first grade, but the next year, the school was starting a French program. My parents wanted me to be in that. So so going through school, I was one of the older kids in my class, and I kind of liked it.
Ah, that's interesting. Mine was the exact opposite. Okay. I was young, and my mom pushed me into first grade. And I had gone to Montessori school. Anyone knows much about Montessori? You don't really learn any, you don't learn any alphabets or numbers. So I got into first grade, and it took me about 6 years to catch up.
You know, it's funny, my daughter went to Montessori, and she skipped ahead, too. My daughter's been always one of the younger ones in her class, and she's done great, too.
But there are some times when children have developmental delays or learning delays or other issues where they're not as emotionally mature, where there's a benefit to holding back. But pushing forward for the sake of getting an advantage, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Although, sports is the one where I have a problem because I was a spring baby and I was one of the younger kids and I was a late bloomer.
Were you tall?
Well, as a freshman, I was about 5'6", probably weighed 100 pounds. I was behind everyone else. I wasn't that big kid on the playground. And
this was just last year, right?
That is me as a senior in high school.
And see how skinny I am?
You're adorable.
Well, no, that's far from adorable. But by that point, I had gone through my growth spurt, but all my other buddies, like a year after that, when I was in college, is when I put on a lot of muscle. I grew. And sometimes I think back, man, I could have been a bruiser.
Yeah, right.
But instead, I just studied.
Well, there's something to be said for
it sure worked out.
Adversity, developing grit. We talk about that all the time. Is children having to overcome obstacles, struggle, develop, and grow. There's a benefit for that, and pushing and holding
it depends on the kid too. For me, I needed the confidence, and I think being a little bit older for me was the thing to do. But you know, regardless of how old you are or what grade you go into, really the most important factor in a child's success is how involved the parents are. That really is the #1 factor in your child's success at school. And so, you know, you got to be proactive with the teachers. Don't wait for the student parent-teacher conference. You know, go in beforehand and, you know, ask how little Johnny's doing and what we can do at home. And, you know, there's a couple of, of obviously reading to your child. That's important. But, you know, make a game out of reading every day. If you see road signs, you know, read, you know, hey, what does that say?
And menus
and movie marquees and things like that. And then also, you know, vocabulary. Talk to your child at your level. And then if they don't, oh, what does that word mean, Mommy? Help them look it up, and it just develops good habits. And then also
writing. Instead of that baby talk.
Right, yeah, don't do baby talk. And then, you know, writing, you know, have your child help you write out the shopping lists and, you know, thank you notes, and maybe encourage them to take a journal, because those kind of teach the good habits that, and it's not like, oh, we're learning. It's just kind of part of everyday life.
But as a